Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's your favorite paranormal investigator. My name's Tim Sedano. This is Paranormal Insight, and today we're going to troll the internet. More specifically, we're going to look at my Instagram paranormal evidence tab. I have been cultivating this since it got pushed, so there's a lot of extra stuff in there, more than we had before. So let's get started. We're going to look at something famous from the English hillsides. It's lovely country, really. But it was part of a. Hold on, I'm trying to do something that's safe. Search. Hold on. I'm just trying to turn something off. I just got this thing up, and I should have done this earlier, so I apologize if I'm gonna hem and haw a bit. Hold on. Let me do it real quick here. Go to that settings preferences, right? Oh, interesting. Okay. Preferences. Let me go to search. What does it say? Hold on. I'm so sorry. um, Search section uncheck. Oh, okay. Here we go. Did I do it? It did not. Que sera. That's okay. Safety check over. Okay, so we're gonna go to a very famous video. Most people have seen it anyway. So you'll forgive me. I'm going to try and just show the video and not the extra verbiage on the side, but it looks like we're going to have to worry about a description. For some reason, it won't let me do just the video, which is a shame, but here we go. Let's watch this one together. So you remember the dog on the English countryside? This is in the Malvern Hills. And we're going to see something kind of interesting. So he's getting ready to fetch. Here he comes. Zoom in on him a little bit. He throws the donut, the wobbly donut thing, the toy. Ah, you probably saw it. Now this will repeat in a little bit. So he zip, you see it again? They're going to back it up for you. And then we're going to zoom in. Everyone says this is a UFO caught on tape. Let's see if I can freeze frame it. No, I can't. But it's got dimension to it, which is weird. Okay, and then they did this, which is a great piece of analysis. Yeah, they're gonna hose me on this and not let me pause it when I want to. Okay, so there we go. I have paused it, and I'm gonna zoom in on that portion, and it's gonna be a little pixelated. I'm sorry, but I want you all to look at this thing. A lot of people are speculating. Oh my gosh, it's a UFO. It's one of those rod UFOs. It didn't make any noise. I wanted you to notice though how close it comes to the camera. It looks like it's coming very, very close, like this thing whipped over his head. Now, it didn't really change dimension, and I can't manipulate the video, unfortunately, beyond pausing it and backing it. I can't even back it up at this point. But if you'll pardon me there, we'll watch it all the way through. I'm going to unpause it now, and I'm going to zoom out. See, the analysis is amazing. That looks like a feather to me. It looks like a feather to me from a bird. A bird was molting, flying by somewhere, and whoop, wind caught it, blew it up. I've had this happen to me before. I wasn't running around with my dog, mind you, but that, my friends, in my personal estimation, is a feather. Very tapered tip, gets a little flary at the back end. And yeah, feathers can move weird ways. And I know you expect feathers to spin a lot. They don't always do that, especially larger birds that like I'm trying to say raptor birds, eagles, hawks, that type of thing, falcons. Now I don't know what bird that feather is from, rather. But in my personal estimation, that's a feather. If you disagree with me, jump in the chat and let me know. First, also want to welcome Heidi and the rest of the chatters. And Canada's the most haunted. Oh, Michelle's on. Hey, Michelle, how's it going? Uh, that's amazing. But yeah, for me, that's a feather. I'm actually, yeah, like I said, I've had this happen to me. There was a bird, like a turkey vulture or something, that was, I think it was attacked by a coyote or something. But I was hiking in the hills, and all these feathers just started flying by me, and it did so very much like that. So that's, in my personal estimation, based on my own experience, it's a feather. It's a feather. Okay, let's move on to something kind of cool and well, not cool per se, but okay, so I'm just gonna let it roll here. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see what's going on. But this kitchen is going nuts. This is brought to us by the Trap House Terror. So they say the most documented poltergeist activity ever captured. I'm not sure that's entirely true, but I will say this: if it's not being faked, which it totally could be, it wouldn't be beyond the realm of possibility to set your camera up at an angle and maybe, yeah, good stuff, Heidi. She's taking a closer look. Okay, so things being whipped around, if that was an effect, it's pretty cool. Now here's the thing: I'm not seeing, and maybe the lack of resolution on these cameras is kind of aiding this, but I'm not seeing the filament strings, which you wouldn't see anyway. Okay, that was cool as far as activity goes. So it starts over. Now things start pinging around. Everyone's whatever this thing is, it's losing its little ghost mind and is messing this place up pretty good. So we'll wait for it to ping. Say yeah, and then it's like it can't decide what to mess up first. I'm gonna open everything, and it seems to be random. If this is an embodied ghost, there's I'm sorry, I misspoke there. If this is you know a ghost per se versus a poltergeist, which is a poltergeist just kind of blasts, and what we're seeing here is actually indicative of poltergeist activity. Could this be faked? Absolutely, but it's the level of destruction you're leveling against. See, the chair's what sells it for me. I'm not seeing hands anywhere. Now, one thing you'll notice. Yeah, Heidi says she's skeptical, and Heidi, I'm kind of with you there. Uh, but what makes me think this is a little more legit is the chair, because the level of destruction being leveled against this kitchen is pretty interesting. However, as I say that, I will note I'm not seeing anything breaking, which may indicate this is indeed a set and this was staged. I'm not seeing glass flying from the flying brick, maybe that bit there, but everything getting pulled off at once. And you see that mat there? I'm going to pause this. No, I'm not. Guess not, because I clicked on the wrong thing. But see, that plate didn't break. Maybe it didn't fall far enough. But and that glass, the chair. I'm not seeing things breaking. So this is what make this. I'm truly 50-50 on this particular piece. So there we have it. That's we're gonna let the poltergeist play out one more time, and then we'll move on to the next one. But for my money, this could be legit, but the fact that nothing's breaking, the fact that everything is moving so symmetrical, and the poltergeists do like symmetry. I mean, chairs stacked in a very specific way in the middle of a room, for example. And while we're not seeing that, we're seeing this explosion of kinetic energy. just things going bonkers, which is interesting. Yeah, it could be a pop up device under the chair. I didn't see hands. The way the placemats also move rather uniformly, and then one doesn't go over, and then it gets pulled off. In fact, let's get to that point one more time as we watch this again. And I'll do my best to pause it about then. I'm not too sure of the cue when that happens, but and the low resolution is going to hide any wires, so there is that. So that it could be done purposely on that. And things are getting knocked over, but nothing's breaking as far as I can see. Okay, here come the placemats. And then this one, there it is. Did you see it? This one over here gets pulled off. So I'm thinking I'm leaning I'm like 60-40 that this is staged. 60-40 this is staged. I'm such a disappointment. I'm so sorry everyone. I know you want to see real haunted stuff. But we can't always get what we want. Unfortunately. So let me go back. I'll stop there. We're going to go. Okay, this is one of my favorites, the thermal ghost. The thermal ghost. This is cool. They actually did a very interesting thing with this thing. So they're going to have this lady sitting. Yeah, I know. Someone had fun with the joke. But she's sitting for real there. And then watch the thermal. I wish I could hide that other thing because I don't need to see the fart joke. Okay, that was cool. And then her reaction. So I thought that was kind of interesting. It's kind of cool. And it's not the first time I've seen something like this. Not in my investigations, but in other people's investigations. And as I have the volume turned down on purpose so we're not distracted. Um, the fart flare. I'm so sorry. I can't get rid of that. But I'll do that. So there he goes. He peeks out and oh, she freaks. And it's I don't know. For me, it's too much of a. And if I can time it, I will. Pause it. That is, I will. Um, okay, I feel something. I feel something. I feel something. She's talking about it a little bit. The FLIR is doing its job because you can't see through her glasses. Absolutely factual when it comes to FLIR technology. Okay, so there it is. I paused it. I'm going to zoom in a little bit tighter. So this is prior to her reaction coming in. Now, something about the way this looks. I mean, I don't know what a real ghost looks like per se. I know I've seen a spirit, but it did kind of resemble this to a degree. Now that I really kind of think on it, because it was a filled-in mass humanoid shape, but from my perception, it was filled with a kind of a TV snow, TV static. Yeah. Oh, and she's seen this before. Uh, Okay. Heidi worked on a manufacture on a MFG of full flight simulators. Oh, I okay. The motion device used could do that. I agree. And there's stuff in the Hollywood realm, in filmmaking realm that can actually pull that off no problem. I wish we had the sound on this. I wonder if I can actually use the sound on this. Let me see here. Okay, so it's muted. I'll turn it on. Hopefully it's not too loud. And she's gonna freak. There we go.
It just happened then. I'm not joking.
She's okay. They bleeped it. That's nice of them.
Camera, so this should detect it.
So
running. What? Sorry, carry on. No, I just keep feeling like a cold breath around my neck, and I really don't like it. Okay. Well, this will capture it. I'm looking at two cameras recording in sync. One's a thermal.
So
the other one's just like a GoPro. What?
Okay. So she definitely felt it. Nothing showed up here in the color camera. Again, I wish I could rewind, but I can't. Um, so it's, I don't know. My interpretation is that it could easily be faked, and I guess that's the problem with a lot of this stuff. It could very easily be faked. Oh, I look what I did there. Um, so it's simple to say, oh, that's totally a ghost. But if I break it down and I just let the subject, let me go close on me for a sec, um, and I let the subject react on camera. I go, huh. She goes, huh. And she says, what was that? And all that fun stuff. In post, I could easily pop up that little guy. No problem. The shape of the thing, the movement of the thing, all said, yeah, she says she feels it first, right? Now it's interesting. She describes, I'm feeling cold around my neck. Heidi brings this up. Um, and if there's anything there, the camera will see it. And then after, well, 2 or 3 seconds after that is when the little pops up from behind her neck, and that's when she stands up and freaks. For my money, it could be faked. If it was just acted, kudos, because I believed her reaction. Um, that's BAFTA level stuff right there. She's British, so I'm giving her a BAFTA. Um, if it's not fake and that's a legitimate find, and it's not the only thermal video we've seen of that, um, I wow, congrats to the investigators because that's. I just realized you couldn't hear me. Congrats to the investigators because that is a phenomenal grab, level one to say the least. But again, I'm 50-50 on that one. This next one is from the Appalachia Range area, and there's a little description as to what happens. Uh, this is kind of fun. I think this one has sound as well, so we'll listen to the sound. Here we go. Zoom in on this one. Oh, it helps to bring it up. I know how to do my job, I promise. Okay, so we're gonna watch this mirror here. So this person's car is parked on the road in the Appalachian Mountains, where you don't whistle at night and you don't answer doors knocked on in the middle of the night either. Okay, here we go. Oh, see eyes. Oh, did you see that? Oh, that's freaky. They may show it again. See that? See those weird eyes right there? Okay. Creepy eyes. Creepy effect. Okay. Okay, so we hear that weird breathing. Okay. Now, for me, we're going to listen again, and then I'm going to pause it. Okay. Oh, I missed him. Shoot. He'll pop up again in a sec. Okay, sorry. Oh, sorry. I gotta do it frame by frame so I can get him. There he is. Okay. Now, a few things are happening in this image that give me pause. But bum. He says this a joke. Um, that was creepy. I'd hear a hoot. I love you. So yeah, I got paused here for a reason. This is actually the capture screen of this shot. But okay, so we hear all this noise. Where's this light coming from? Where's that light coming from? And why is it in that shape? And why is it so sharp? It looks like this was supposed to go up here. So my thinking is that this, if this was faked, was a bad thing because that light coming in there makes no sense. Also, I want you to notice this little close-up mirror thing, this, or what's that called? A little safety mirror here. And there's a second eye. Well, I think there's supposed to be one eye, the bridge of the nose, and that. Heidi asks this, so yeah. So I think it's the bridge of the nose here, one eye there, one eye there, and this weird kind of, I don't know, kind of a wolf coloring around the eyes there, which is interesting. Was this a werewolf? I don't know. Um, but it's interesting. So I'm thinking this is really cool effect. It's a very cool effect because the mirror you'll see is cropped out right there. If you zoom in, allow me to zoom in if I can. So this is the safety mirror, but this is completely black. And if all this is in the safety mirror, where's the, accompanying reflection, at least in this corner of the mirror itself, of the main mirror? So it's blacked out. Professionally done, too. I mean, that's really, really well done. And if you look again at the shape of all this was supposed to go up here. That's my interpretation, anyway. Very good. If it is legit, I don't get it because the lighting doesn't make sense. But if it's a fake, you missed something. Although it's a really good effect. If you weren't breaking it down and this was happening to you live, you probably wouldn't think about that. Well, most people wouldn't anyway. So yeah, here we go. Moving on to the next one. Isn't this fun? Okay, I kind of want to show this one, but I want to do this one first because this one for me was a little obvious. Maybe not for everyone else. I'm gonna this lady. I guess she's trying to hide her identity, but yeah, I don't know. Did I mute her? I'll mute her because the explanation is not required. So this thing is hanging out, and someone is outside recording someone else's front porch. Tell me that makes sense. But let's play it. Okay, so she's going to go on to explain for a few things, and her head's going to bob around. Isn't that neato? And then we'll see whatever the heck this thing is. It kind of looks like a bat almost. Almost. So, okay. And then we see it run off. And it kind of looks like a wolf there. So it changes. See? It's weird. It kind of looks like, whatchamacallit? Groot. And then it changes. Like it morphs. So something tells me this is some really bad AI. Or reasonable AI. But, I mean, there's just so many things wrong with this picture. I mean, yeah, and she analyzes it. It's very cool. But, I mean, she even plays it in slow mo. Okay, so there's the other thing. Damn, I wish. Kudos, once again, the motion blur's outstanding. If this is fake. Okay, so it drops down. Good physics. I see it grappling here and going to knees, and then it runs off. And we're looking at a rough profile of whatever this thing's supposed to be, but it's so amorphous. It actually changes shape. I mean, oh, it's a dog now without a tail. And no, it's a dog man with a loincloth. I don't know what's going on there. So so as our girl explains this again, I'll try and pause it. But for me, yeah, good zoom in there. That's good. Okay. So I'm going to pause it there. This thing seems to be kind of half sitting on the sill. Its loincloth / cape is draped down here. It's got that's a foot, and that's its leg, and that's another foot kind of dangling there. It seems to be perched on its hands, like this. But arms are straight, obviously. and it seems to be using one eye to look in, or it's trying to see something in, you know, looking this way through the window. But its entire body posture doesn't make sense to me because I think it's literally 180s its rib cage in the next few seconds. See? Oh, I got it wrong. So now here he's wearing like a tunic looking thing, and then he gallops off, and the front legs don't move, and the legs beside him, if he's running animalistically, he's trying to imitate a wolf, should be more in tandem, right? Tandem, yeah, tandem. So none of that movement makes any sense to me. My guess is this is a piece of very well done AI and or CG, because one, the creature just morphs multiple times throughout this thing. You could say Skinwalker, but at the same time, that's what Heidi posited. But at the same time, it it doesn't match the behavior of that creature, and there's just too many things wrong with it physically. So as it moves, but kudos. I mean, they got the basic structure of a body landing from a high perch and then running off, except for the weird human action in the back legs and the fact that the front legs are outstretched the whole time it was running away. And this cape, this loincloth cape thing comes out of nowhere. Because here it looks like it's wearing a poncho almost, a poncho. But, I mean, as it goes, it jumps down, and its face is suddenly facing the opposite direction, and then it gallops off, and then it goes, sledding, or like snow body surfing in the snow. It just doesn't make sense. So I'm going to call that one a fake, just so you know. Okay, weird. Is that what they were aiming for? Heidi brings up a good point here. I'm gonna kudos Heidi. That's fantastic. Yes, it could have been a final for a film class. Although personally, I would have smacked him down as their teacher because you messed up some things. Go back, tell the AI how you want the thing to move, how you want it to look. Lock into your. There's things you can do when you're creating imagery in AI. Like you could say character one, like C:100 will lock in your character's matrix, and wherever it moves, it'll lock in that thing. So there's something to be said for that. Thank you for the heart, by the way, and hello to those 5 of you watching. And do we still have Michelle on? Well, it doesn't appear she's left. But there she is. So hopefully you're all still there. But film 102 and 103, yeah. Nicely put. I thought that was funny. Little film school inside joke. Okay, our next one's going to be trail cam footage from, we're almost going in order. We'll probably skip a couple things along the way, but from a trail cam. This is the best. This is great. Yeah. Why did Bigfoot stop in right in the middle of the trail? So a conscious adult and the baby Bigfoot walking by a trail, crunching the leaves. Okay, so there is sound on this. I'll turn it on, but here we go. Here we go. Let me manipulate this again. I'll zoom it out. You're gonna have to look at the comments, unfortunately, but I closed it. There we go. Now, I'll say the leaf movement here is amazing. Sound matches. Look at that. Look at the leaf movement. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at his feet. And there's baby following mother the way you should. the way you expect, you know. Okay. So there's a couple of passes of this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't care about this guy's opinion, so I'm going to mute him. But let me know what you think in the comments. But it is an exciting piece of film because it shows. Here's what gets me on the whole thing. I want you to look at and just listen too. Listen to the feet and watch the feet. The background is outstanding too. Crickets going. Now that's something that kind of clues me into that this might be faked. Because if it's a true thing, wow. I mean, wow. But let's listen and let's watch as well. I mean, I'm looking at body symmetry, the adult with the extra long arms compared to the baby with the extra long arms, so that's matching. Um, we have a few other things rocking. Sticking the branches there. The light play is working as a night camera should, although I thought this might, I don't know, because it looks like the light's up here shining down. And it's kind of catching the baby more than the adult, so that kind of makes sense. So how high up was this camera? That's a question I have. But let's keep watching. I think they get a different perspective in the next panels. Okay. Look at we get a little bit of a look at dad or mom or whatever the heck this is. My thought is this is a male leading a younger male. Okay, look at that. Now, this is intriguing. The face kind of matches. Oops, we have more comments. Oh, Sherry's here. Sherry, welcome to the chat. Thank you so much. Oh, she's going to the animal shelter. Sherry, thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. So if you are able to look at the face and Sherry, you're going to have to watch this again at home. Blurry as this still is, and that's on me for not pausing quick enough. The ear placement, the face placement, and the fact that these eyes actually glow, they have refraction, is amazing. The fact that this thing is dirty from the leaves and stuff it's been coasting through is outstanding. My only, and I can't say this for certain, actually, I will now retract what I was about to say. What I was about to say is that the crickets are there, and usually the crickets shut up when these things are around, if you listen to the Sierra sounds. But upon recollection, sorry, I keep moving the mic. But upon recollection, there were crickets and frogs and all that in the Sierra sounds as well. So this has the potentiality of being quite legitimate. Well, let's continue watching, and then we'll go back and look at something else. Okay. So, and look at the eye shine. Oh my gosh, look at his eye shine right there. We get a better look at his face. And if you look at the pectoral area, this is what makes me think it's a male. Compared to Patty from the Gimlin film, who was decidedly female. So, although if you look at gorillas, they're, when they're not pregnant or not having just delivered, they're not too pronounced in the breast area. So, I don't know. And if we're to really kind of analyze this creature, the posture works. It kind of matches Patty. The only problem I have is the feet are different. The feet positions are different. Now, this could be that they're in, I mean, I can't really see the feet right now, and they're in a resting position, but I wish I had a clearer. Well, let's watch it again and see what the walk up looks like. see the feet are flat on stepping versus going up. Oh well, baby did kind of do it there. You know what? That perching a little bit because they go up on their toes when they walk a little bit. Okay, yeah, this guy. Um, that amazing piece of footage, just amazing piece of footage. For me, if we are going to analyze, I mean, just from the analysis we just did, if this is fake and AI, they did an amazing job. And I mean amazing. Like someone really worked with the CG to get this just right. Here's what I'm going to say, and it's controversial, but, oh, darn it. Okay. Um, I'm thinking we might have a legitimate trail cam thing here. Honestly. Just the movement, the sound matching. Now, this could all be completely faked out. I'm not going to lie. But look at the awareness of this little guy. I'm not seeing any weird pixelation. I'm not, the light from the IR is casting the correct shadows. Dad or big brother or whoever the heck that happens to be could be mom. We don't know. So a lot of that's working. The eye blinks. Oh my gosh, I just saw the eye blinks on the baby. So I'm this may make me a fool, but I'm willing to say that I'm leaning 70%, if not more, legit on that one. 70% legit. That's what I'm calling it. That's amazing. I didn't analyze it this deeply before too. I just grabbed it and say, hey, we can talk about that one. But wow, that's amazing. So next up on our list is okay. We're gonna take a look at a couple of these. Okay. This one makes me laugh a little bit, but at the same time, I don't know. You make the call, as they used to say in the NFL segment. Okay, here we go. Is this legit Dogman and or werewolf? Uh, I don't know. For me, it's trying to could be that skinwalker thing. I don't know. For me, it's. I mean, never mind. The footage is really blurry. I mean, look at that swagger. It looks a little artificial to me. It's got a weird halo around it too. Did you notice that? Let me. He's walking like a bruh. Like all he does is live in the gym, except for the 2 hours he goes home to sleep. Uh, Although if you have tiny little feet holding up your big dog body, half human body, I guess you might walk like that. So my first impression is this is false. Could be a person in the costume, just given the way they're walking is weird. Proportionality looks about right if I were to stick a human quality on a dog or make this a dog man or a werewolf, if you prefer. No, not too. It's not too clear. I mean, it's like the hand looks weird and long there. There seems to be some symmetry issues. It's weird. It just seems off to me, kind of fake. I mean, kudos because the camera matching and all that looks really good. It's the glow that really starts me guessing, and then, or calling it fake, and then there's the weird shoulders. I mean, anamorphically speaking, like maybe, but I mean, it looks like whatever engine, if there was an engine, indeed, and I'll give everyone the benefit of the doubt here. If this thing is legit, it's its proportions kind of work. Although there's some weird stiffness in the lower arms that I don't quite get. And I thought they were supposed to have daggerish hands and big hands. These look like little hands, like he's walking like this with this kind of hand. Not that he's walking like this in that position, but the hand, it looks weird and crumpled and malformed. So I don't know. Like it's loose, like it's just dangling there or sitting there like this or something like that, you know? No. I'm gonna say no. I'm pretty sure this is a faked thing. Although it's really fun to look at. I will admit that. Okay, moving on. I was gonna skip this one, but you know what? We'll take a quick look at it just because it's fun. The cat. I like the cat. Okay, we're moving over here. So, since when do they allow children on military bases? They typically don't, although families do live on military bases. Um, this is purportedly a gray walking around a military base. Here we go. Yeah. Okay, I'm definitely calling this fake. It's cool. Don't get me wrong. The reason I say this is because the military guys, especially the ones who aren't moving, are a little too lockstep. They don't have their heads on a swivel. You know, these heads should be jig, 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 looking, always looking. Uh, and this doesn't look like U.S. military to me. If it is supposed to be U.S. military, the cross strap doesn't work. I think the backpack, the fanny pack, that doesn't work. Yeah, I think this one's fake, kids. Really well done though. I mean, putting the fence there through a barbed wire fence is amazing. That's a good touch. It adds legitimacy. Legitimacy. The all the barbed wire here adds legitimacy. Now, this could be real footage, and they just imparted this little dude in there. Because of all the subjects in this piece, then I could be wrong because I think I'm seeing some artifacts cropping up around the window there. This is really good. This is really, really good. Okay. But I'm still calling it fake. That's fake, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry. If I burst your bubble on that one, I'm calling that a fake. Okay. Um, this was great. This one. Sorry. I'll just play it. I'll just play. Man was driving through the woods and captured a strange animal. I hate to tell you this. That's a dog. That's a wolf. That's kind of what they look like. They look a little messed up in the face. The behavior is canine too, so very canine. It's not like it's standing up. It's just a big old dog. And I think there's another one in the background on the side here. No, but wolves do look like that. Some of them have that. It's not mange. It's a different kind of condition where their eyes are a little more pronounced and even seem to be lacking any fur. But no, that's a dog, unless or is it? It could have six legs. I gotta see it move again. No, it's just the cross shadows. Okay, but that's a dog, kids, not a werewolf. Moving on. Moving on. Okay, so I was gonna bring this up, but that's not very creepy. We're coming up on some of my favorites. I like the giant. I love the giant. The giant's the best. So let me share this one with you. This dude's nose had a limbo. Check it out. He doesn't duck. He limbos so much that he has to wait for his beard to come down. It's the best, man. It's the best. Yeah. Sorry, that's fake. That's a big fake. Oh, Sherry, I know you're driving, but you're gonna love this when you watch it back. This is fantastic stuff. Okay, moving on to the next one. If I can get my cursor up there, there we go. Okay, this is the mirror check test. Very easy to pull off in film. Okay, look at this. What's going on with the mirror? What's happening? I don't get how physics works. So I'm going to make it work my way. You notice they completely took, and then okay, well, let me pause it. See that artifact right there? Even the blur. The blur was manufactured at the back end. See all this? Yeah, that was faked. Completely faked. But it was fun. It's fun. I included it. Oh boy, good times. Okay, and now one of my favorites. I mean, AI is just doing better and better and better. So we have Limbo Giant Guy over there, and here's the Ninja Turtle. No, it isn't. It's gosh, there's a name for it. It's a Japanese demon. It holds water up here on its head, and it's kind of turtle-like. It's this thing. All right. Oh, it sees me. Oh no. Okay, so there was a splash before it even got in the water. I mean, come on. This was probably in reality a gator of some sort. And they just replaced it. Or turtle or something else that did all the splashing. Although I have to say, if that's all AI water effects, it's pretty good. The river flowing. I think the river even stops flowing, so keep your eye on all this down here. Oh no. Right. Yeah, you want to get that clean of a ripple. So this is totally faked. Absolutely fake. It's kind of obvious it is anyway. Now, I will say this. If it hasn't been faked, if this is legit, it is an interesting little thing to consider because with all this really, really good fakery out there that is fooling a lot of people, if this is a legitimate phenomena, a legitimate creature from mythology, and we're working with the if question, and we're finally getting it on camera, that means it's not being suppressed anymore. And, short of, a major news outlet recording this and saying, yep, we totally proved these things are real. They've been around in mythology for a long time. But I don't know. For my money, his movements are weird. For starters, he doesn't escape the log in a logical manner at all. Well, maybe he does. He drops the foot down and kind of flops in. But that's cool. But, these are creatures of myth. My problem with it is, if we look at him here, he's kind of amorphic in the chest. And it doesn't quite work out that he has a turtle shell. I mean, it's really kind of weird. Just the morphology of the creature itself is not lending to what it's supposed to be. And I think it even sports a strap at one point. That's its hair. Could this be a dude in a costume? Abso-freaking-lutely. The rubber costumes these days are getting better and better and better. Even the body costumes are just outstanding at the higher levels. So, could be a guy in a costume. I'm going to do a little pop drop thing. See, okay, so there was water coming off this hand for no real reason. The log doesn't look wet to me. So I'm thinking this is likely AI. And I think the shell even got bigger. Okay, moving on. We'll call that likely a fake. Okay. We'll look at this one. And then we'll look at this one. Okay. This is Bigfoot in a cage. Really, really, really kind of interesting. Bigfoot in a cage. They caught him. Someone's got a Wookiee icon up over here. I'll zoom in on him. He's gonna walk out. There he is. So bugs by the light. That's really good. If this is a dude in a costume, I'm impressed. I am. But it does kind of have a Wookiee kind of a thing. Then they stick a light on him. You can see, yeah, you know what? Chewbacca for sure. Um, just because the hands look like just a big ass dude, and the arm length compared to, because this can be forced perspective. Yeah, she's lower on a hill compared to this thing, which is higher up on this thing. So, yeah, of course she's looking down. Look at the eyes work, and it looks a lot like Chewbacca over here. So I'm gonna call this really, really well done. Live. That's a person in a suit. Really, really good suit too. Okay. Not hard to ape and behave animalistically. And the bugs on the light. I'm thinking person in a suit. Person in a suit. Then we're gonna the dinosaur chickens or the real raptors that are supposedly out there. Now, this could be cool, but this could be legit. Because, I mean, looking at how well this is put together rather well. Yeah. So, we'll zoom in on that. This is really well put together. Now, you notice the eyes don't blink. Notice the eyes don't blink. So something tells me he just stuck a dinosaur head on a chicken in post. In AI, it's like, oh, see these chickens, turn them into raptors. So follow the behavior and all that. I think that's exactly what happened here. Very well done. Very well done. It looks legit. It could look legit. And also, there's corn on the floor. I don't think raptors are going to eat corn. They got the chicken feet right, but they're gray. So the AI took the instruction correctly. There's all this weird stuff there. I think that actually indicates that it's an AI image. I just noticed the watermark there. So, yeah, AI. Sorry, kids. But it's still fun to look at. Okay, we have another werewolf here, and we'll move on to something else in a second, I promise. So, this is purportedly the dog man. Now, I'll say this. Moving like I'd expect a dog man to move. And the anamorphics, the morphology. I keep using the wrong word. I'm terribly sorry about that. The morphology works for this creature too. It's what I would expect. Whoop! I hit the wrong button. So once they move in on them, okay. I wonder if I can brighten this image somehow. I don't think I can. Okay. Excuse me. So the muzzle and all that looks right. The ears aren't as present as I would, which is what I would expect, especially if the human ear was going to be made to be a little more pointy. I don't think it'd go up like Doberman Pinscher ears or something like that. And look at the hunch of this thing. Like it's still in that animalistic mode. The arms are just as long as the forearms are as long as the back legs, which works anamorphically to me. And they're the same size. And if these are, what are fence posts typically? Any farmers out there? They're typically 4 to 5.5 feet, right? So it puts this thing at about 5.5, 6 foot. As it stands here, probably not. It doesn't look fully erect, like in its posture. But I mean, let's keep looking at this here. He's gonna see. Oh, great move! Great, captured the profile. Nothing really morphed or changed. Really, really well done. If this is false, it faked. It's really, 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 really well done. You notice this thing doesn't move its feet that much either. It's just staring, sitting there, moving around. It doesn't start walking, which is a little telling to me. Because a creature like that, I would assume, would be a little more mobile, especially trying to get at this, unless unless it's glued to that position. So, as I'm looking at the, oh shoot, I wish there was more shadow play at work here. Let me zoom out a little. Okay, I just want to pause there and see where the shadows are landing for everything else. It's a gray day. Looks like the light's coming from our perspective for the most part. I'm just looking at the shadows over here. I'm gonna zoom out a pinch so we can get some of this. Keep hitting the wrong button. So, yeah, it's really cool. And if it's a real creature, it's oddly stationary. So my guess is this is probably AI. I don't see any watermarks that kind of speak to that per se, but at the same time, we could be at a stage where we have a lot of AI and a lot of CG, and it's really convincing, but it's also very fake, and it's causing us to second guess this stuff. So if we saw a real dog man on on camera, like we potentially do here, you're going to say, well, that's probably faked. I mean, we did with UFO stuff all the time. Still do. So, but I mean, some of his motions a little jerky at the beginning there, so I'm gonna say this is fake. It's really well done though. Proportionality is amazing on that. I really kudos to the maker of that. Okay, more fun AI stuff. Again, I will pause it though, and I'm 98% sure this is fake. It's just an overlay with a real animal. This is the griffin. The baby griffin. Looks like a puppy. And they just overlaid it. Or a cat, maybe. I'm trying to look at the shadow and see if there's any reflection of the actual animal in the polish of the floor here. Hold on. Wait, we may have a clue as to what this really is, unless the AI was covering their butt. Let's see. Let's hold off. When it gets by the reflection. Oh, they did a good job. Wow. I mean, wow, that's really impressive. Okay, let's watch them again. We're going to look at that shadow, reflection rather, in the door over here to see what the animal really looks like. But you know what? My first impression is a cat, just based on its movement. And they just added the animal overlay. But I want you to look at this reflection. And then even over here a little bit, we see some of the reflection of the animal. Oh, that's interesting. We're going to watch this one more time. I just want to see what's going on over here. It's a little blurry, I know, but bear with me. Does his wings pop up? No, his wings don't flare. It's very intriguing. Very well done. Or they just stick a cat in a griffin costume. Again, you have to give that 5-10% to that's why I wanted to see. Hold on, I'm going to zoom in one more time on this guy. You have to give that 5-10% to, is this, watch the flutter in the wings. See, I didn't see the flutter that clearly in the reflection. I mean, it's a griffin. Let's be honest, it's probably fake. But there's that little conspiratorial edge that would say, oh, since they're going to call it fake anyway, why not show the real thing? No one's going to believe it. So we have to do our own judgment. My guess is this is AI, though. Although, kudos, because the AI, if this was AI versus a cat in a griffin costume, really well done. Because the reflection was also a griffin, from what I could tell. I thought it was a cat at first, but no, AI took. So something tells me this is actually a cat or some other wild animal, or animal rather, that's new to this person, and they just overlaid a griffin on it to mimic that behavior. So yeah, that's what I think we're looking at here. That's a bit of time travel with the hammer and the rock, which is pretty cool. Okay, this one is the one that makes me go, come on. Okay, yep, you get the Harry Potter comet thing. Okay, so to break it down, it's little light thing is back there and then it's here, but there's no ball. The ball shows up later. It comes out of the corner again, so it's definitely faked. Really, really well done, Stowe. Really, really well done. Because look at this, it stays here, and then it zoom whips over, and then it's weird. So when it comes back down the thing, see, it's up here, it's casting light there. It kind of makes sense. Then it goes through the trees a little bit, and it passes all this and it ends up here in the corner. So it should be here-ish. And then zip, oh, it's suddenly there. Right. So really, really well done, CG. Not bad, not bad, but definitely fake. But it was fun to look at. I forget what this one is. Oh, camera packaging. Okay. Okay, I don't want to do that one. This is a piece of video in Colombia, shot on a 4K. So we get to see a saucer, which is really, really cool. Now, something that convinces me that this is, in fact, legit is the bird is there. That's cool. That's, when nature comes flinging through with a bird, at closer range. And, yeah, that thing's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. You're making out a lot of details in the shadows, and there goes the birdie. And, I don't know why that's there, but it is. I guess as comparison. But I'm thinking this is legit. This one won me over. This is a legit video. Okay, we probably have to take a look at this. But Mona Lisa with locks. I don't know. This one, I don't know. We'll tackle that maybe. We'll probably come back to it. But this is a ghost photo of someone's mother that showed up long after her passing. And I forget who provided this. Down the Rabbit Hole was the first one to. Haunted captures the guy's house. He had a feeling of being watched, apparently. And he caught this photo on a snap. And apparently he's a Playboy fan. Weird. But yeah, it looks like a lady in a older style of dress, 50s maybe. Maybe a little younger in the face. Is it legit? I don't see why it wouldn't be. You could have made a ghost appear a lot clearer if you wanted to fake it. So I'll lean toward Bellini claiming that one's real. Okay, let's look at this one. This is a super conspiratorial, but apparently on the backside of the moon, a sarcophagus of some sort was brought back home. and had an Egyptian vibe to it. And when they open it up, they call it the Black Mona Lisa. They found this creature with, I guess, for lack of a better term, dreads. This is an artist rendering. And she has larger eyes than normal. The nose is a little flatter. She has a crystal embedded up here, but she's relatively human, just with really big eyes. Big eyes aren't that uncommon in humans. We see them all the time, especially in Hollywood actresses. The girl from I'm blanking on real names, so I have to go with characters. The girl on Fallout, the main girl out of Vault 31, she's the lead. And then there's Amanda Seyfried, really big, pretty eyes. So, thanks, Sherry. Sherry likes my videos. But is this legit? I don't know. That means we went to the dark side of the moon. That means we recovered a lot of stuff we didn't tell anyone else about. And if this is real backroom footage, excuse me, linked footage, it kind of speaks to a lot of things happening. This one video actually opens up a whole bunch of different cans of worms. So, but she's an interesting subject nonetheless. Is this legit? She looks a little waxy for me. But that's me. She looks a little who knows? It could be a preservation thing. Okay, that's not cool. But apparently she was found with this stuff on her, and it's got circuitry in it. Oh, see, and this is also where it kind of falls apart for me, because her mouth wasn't stuck in that position. It was closed in the other photos. So I'm thinking either they found multiple things or this was illegitimate all the way around. So I'm leaning toward false. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's look at my big beautiful mug here for a sec. Hey, there we go. We're gonna take a quick break. I can't believe we're here already. This episode's going super fast. We're gonna take a quick break, and nope, I hit the wrong button. It's good times. We're gonna take a quick break, do a little station identification, do a few commercials. We'll be back in about 2 minutes and 23 seconds. See you soon. This is the United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM in New Orleans and 105.3 in the Gulf Coast. UPRN talkradio.com. Esoteric programming at its finest.
Long ago in the ancient world, the Tribus Omnis Lux, later known as the Tridents, were celebrated heroes, defenders of humanity against unspeakable monsters. Today, they continue that sacred duty in secret, hunting the dark evils that lurk just beyond the shadows. They are the Trident of Light.
And we'll be right back after this. Hi, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tim Sudano, host of Paranormal Insight, a weekly video magazine that reaches 500,000 viewers and listeners every week on average, and the number is only growing. Connect your brand with our curious, dedicated audience who want authentic content and authentic brands. For further information on putting your brand on the show, contact me directly at paranormal.insight.podcast@gmail.com. That's paranormal.insight.podcast@gmail.com. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the show. Today we're going to talk about the strange and the unusual. Check out our Patreon. Get deeper, behind-the-scenes insights. Also, tips into being a better paranormal investigator and other fascinating content. Follow us on Instagram at paranormal.insight. Stay informed on upcoming shows, see what paranormal trends we're following, and help us reach 50,000 followers by liking, following, and sharing. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube at paranormal_insight. Click the live tab to see our latest videos. To see, there I am. Okay, fantastic. We're back. I also want to add one more thing, and that is, if I can call it up here, this. This is a brand new film festival hosted by yours truly. It's called the Indie Innovators Film Fest. If you or anyone you know happens to be an independent filmmaker and they've got their film in the can, please submit to the new Film Fest Indie Innovators Film Fest. This is their first year. They are available to be seen on Fest Home, and this is their little intro page, and there's the two different submission sites, submission buttons. They have a few cool things, including Best Picture, Best Actor, Actress for features and shorts, Best Horror Thriller, Best Drama, Docudrama, Best Comedy, Best Sci-Fi Fantasy, and Best Documentary. Most are in the feature and short category. They're also doing. No, it already says it. Never mind. I thought there was more there. So please go to scruffytux.com/i2f2. That's Indie Innovators Film Fest. Good times. Okay. So, getting back to the paranormal and the crazy and the weird and all that fun stuff. Let's dive back into trolling the internet. Thank you, Heidi. Heidi had this to say, if it shows it, there it is. Ew, never heard of this. She's talking about the mummy girl from the moon. That was new one on me when I found it too. So let's get back to it here. Okay. So lots of stuff. This is a fun one. This middle one here. This one is, I don't know why I even have it there. It's not even that great. And it's long-winded and it's just not worth it. But we'll look at this one. So, haha. It was quick, but it's quick and done. Look at that. So, now, interestingly, this guy that's a camera tripod for lights and stuff. He has a doll's head there. And whatever this thing is, grabs it. Now, I want you to notice a couple of different things. We'll see if it, there we go. Okay, two things. It has a sleeve. Let me zoom in on that. It has a sleeve. And it appears to be, it's got this black hand here, but it's not a shadow creature. Not traditionally, not that we've seen in the past. But this one has a sleeve, and it's got a big, long, black, kind of furry-ish arm, and grabs this doll's head off the camera tripod. And the setup here is just too weird. Now, the other thing is, this is supposed to be a window. And I got to see the angle where he stands up, because I don't think his reflection shows up. I think this is painted in completely. I mean, kudos. But I'm seeing some artifacts on the side here that may indicate this is painted in to give it a little more depth and a little more curiosity, because this thing grabs a doll's head through a plate of glass. Let's see what happens when he stands up, because I see him over here a little bit. Okay, so there he is. The chair doesn't move. You know what I think it is? Hold on. I think I know what's going on here. Okay. There he is. So he grabs the thing. I'm going to do this a little bit at a time here. And then he disappears. Okay. See, this is all a setup. He keeps looking at the camera. We see his stuff there. Now, I think the reflection is there, but I think when they did this part of it, see this weird banister looking thing here? I think that's a cut line. And they just laid this over it. Actually, I don't see his hand here at all. Okay, that's what it was. So this square here, you notice that there's a taper there, but there's also some stuff missing. About right there. Interesting. So I think they just added the reflection in post. Yeah, you can do that. It's pretty easy to do, especially if you use a lot of Pro Tools and stuff like that. But see, there's a hoodie here, there's a sleeve, and then he pulls it away, and then you fade that guy out. Yeah, this is trick photography. Plain and simple. Nice try. Then we'll look at the reflection thing. Now, this is also very easy to do. Okay, I'm going to point out one thing. Never does this person cross this line. Okay, I'll zoom in on that. Never does this person cross that line. That's important. It's the only way you can do, and that's an effect. Okay, first off, why is she recording herself in her bathroom talking on the phone? Now, she could be one of these YouTubers that likes to do their makeup scheme and stuff, but they're at the wrong angle. For starters. Secondly, all these lines and stuff, this is definitely a scene from a film, a student film maybe. Could have been a final project like Heidi talked about before. Who knows? But, I mean, it's great. And then also, look at this line here. Yes. Look at that. You know, all you have to do is say, okay, stay still. They got the arrows on there. Okay. Also, his reflection never crosses. Watch this. This is obviously... See, yeah. It's complete garbage. And then there's this thing where something comes out of the sewer at him. Anyway, these are great little horror things, but that's really about it. That's all they are. They're not legit, unfortunately. Well, I don't know about unfortunately. I don't want people's mirrors looking at them, but yeah, it's good times. Okay, I'm gonna play this one, and it's faked. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it's a good one. Deer hunting turned into a nightmare. But I want to point out something that it's creepy as crazy. It's really well done. So yeah. This guy doesn't believe it either. But it's faked. It's completely faked. I think this is still for a student film. And it's really well done. But whoever did the creature back, get off the screen, dude. Whoever did that creature that he's pointing to actually did the research, because they say that's what a Wendigo looks like. So they're probably filming a Wendigo thing. And I think I shared another story. Her phone is multitasking. I like that. That's funny. From the last video. But also, I think I shared a story on here about a Wendigo, and that's what the creature looked like that came out of the water. They thought it was a deer swimming across this little pond. No, it's because it came out and it looked kind of like that, and it stood up on, its hind legs bipedally and started walking around and made this awful scream. It was just disturbing. So, but still, it was fun to share. Okay, this one's okay. We'll look at this guy in a sec. Actually, let's look at him now. So this is the red-eyed alien from South America we've all heard about. Okay, so she freaks. She sees this thing crawling around, and we got this guy here doing this. Okay, he just crawled right through the eave. Yeah. He suddenly, it's just Yeah, really well done. Really, really well done. That jump scare was amazing, but no, fake. Just putting it out there, and they capitalized on that. It was a documentary just a little while ago. Now here's a World War II ventriloquist doll that moves, and it's creepy, and it moves significantly. If it's manipulated, it's really well done. If this is digitally manipulated, it's really well done. Yep. Yep. Is that it? Okay, the eyes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Look at the eyes. Camera open. And then it's got one of those internal mechanisms in the mouth. Becca, becca, becca. Although that's one thing that bugs me about this is that I mean I've seen those types where it isn't based on jaw movement, but it's just the mouth movement itself and just the lips fold in and out, and you'll see it after the cabinet opens here. Just watch right here. Zoom in a little bit. Yeah, see that mechanism? It's kind of interesting. Although it looks like the lips form a word, so I'm under the impression this could be AI manipulation as well. But or at the very least manipulated, because that little arm that's sitting on there looks like it has some mechanisms attached to it. I mean, I'm not seeing anything. Oh yeah, I did see it move. Ha 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 ha. Well, solved. There we go. So it's legit, but it's a total funhouse kind of a deal. Not legit scary thing. Oh boy. See, this is the red alien guy I was telling you about. This is part of the documentary where this guy was rescued somewhere in South America. And then all these military guys come in. No, 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 no. You don't see nothing. Um, this is fun. I'm not going to share it though. Okay, we'll look at this one though. This is a doll being fed fake food, and apparently the doll interacts with the fake food at one point or another. And then okay, okay, okay. Now, uh this is a film, I think. I think someone's just trying to make a homemade horror flick. Well done. Not well done. There's easily someone under this table here manipulating that whole thing. Very well done though. Where's Spooky Monroe? Okay, now that's more of a story. I want to show scary things that are visual, more visual. Okay, let's look at this one. This one's pretty interesting. This is they call it Arcturian technology. I don't know how the heck they know that, but it's a series of UFOs that have been recorded, and they've been frame grabbed a little bit. So it's pretty interesting. I mean, these things kind of morph around. They're weird looking, and I don't know. I mean, those are some crazy looking ships or probes or whatever they could be. It could be faked nowadays, absolutely. But some of the stuff is from the 80s, and some of the stuff is from the 90s, and I think it's just the animal, the morphing is what gets me. And there's a lot of reports. Look at this guy; he changes in the shape a little bit. A lot of reports of that happening with some legit UFOs. So yeah, whether it's Arcturian technology, I couldn't even begin to tell you. But I don't know if there's any space seeds out there. Let me know. Yeah. Yeah, Wendigos are super creepy. I was just catching up to the chat. Sorry about that, but it's still interesting to note that that particular take on the Wendigo is what I've heard in the past. Um, High resolution spacecraft. I'm not sure if this is the thermal or not. That's pretty cool. This is your Colorado River, not too far from where you're at, Heidi. Sorry, not to give away your position or anything, but probably watch this one on. This is a drone, I think. And there he is. It's pretty cool. I mean, if you're gonna fake, the thing is, you see, and I'm not about to call this a fake. I think it's probably legit to a degree. And the only, yeah, yeah, it is in Colorado. But it's the thing that makes me think this is more legit than the others is the fact that they don't have a better angle on it. And it's if you're thinking about perpetrating a hoax, you may not think about you want to get the money shot. Typically, if you're gonna say, "Hey, this is the real deal," you're not gonna get this obscure little thing unless you're trying to hide the fact that your person's wearing a monkey suit or a Bigfoot suit. So could that be the case here? Absolutely. But some of the stuff on here, big part of talking yawn. Some of the artifacts in here are not artifacts. I'm sorry. Okay, so I make this thing about 10 foot. That's a guess. This thing's about maybe long, maybe taller. This thing's pretty tall. He's walking in a gorge and he's at the halfway point of a 10 foot thing. So I don't know. I don't know. The only thing that bugs me about it is he stops right there. He doesn't come out. He just walks that little path. Which makes me again suspect that this is a film. Some student project. So could be I want to say it's legit, but you know what? I think I'm going to have to walk that back to 50-50. It's really good, though. I like it. As story goes. Okay. Let's see. Move on down. Okay. We could make that comparison, but I'm not gonna. Lots of stuff on winged figures, all that fun stuff. Yeah, this is interesting. What angels really look like. Okay, Loch Ness. God, this is my favorite one. I love this. I've always wanted Nessie to be a real thing. But these guys are flying. These guys here in the boats are flying a drone. And that's when this thing comes up, like right, just about kisses the bows of their boats and is floating there. And it's not the biggest thing in the world, but these are about 14 foot long. And that's about the length of that neck by the look of it. So, yeah, I mean, does have a plesiosaur kind of vibe to it. Is it real? Gosh. I mean, the markings look about legit, too, with the weird wide stripes that you would see on certain other sea creatures. So I'm willing to call it legitimate, at least from this angle. It's inconclusive, I'll say that much, but I'm leaning toward it's like 60%. I think it's real. At least I want it to be real. Let's put it that. But put it on my paranormal investigator hat. I'm trying to see what would make it look unreal. The lighting's correct compared to all the other stonework here. The waves are lapping and distorting the creature as the waves go by. And the only thing that maybe gives me pause is the fact that this thing is moving against the tide of the lake. Impossible? No. but it doesn't seem to be moving anything in order to manipulate itself over. So there is that. That's what gives me pause. I'm calling this, 100% legit, but it's a great capture. If legit, fantastic capture. I really want it to be legit. We have a bunch of things. A truth about dinosaur. That's a bit involved. Oh, stereo sounds. I did have a thing on that, I guess. Okay, yes. This one wigged me out. And I'm gonna turn the sound on.
Because when this boy asked his dad to look at his daughter Carly, something strange happened.
Now,
Get up here, Carly! At first, he didn't notice what exactly talked to Carly, so he ran up to see it. But the creature was already gone, so he decided to brush it off and continue on with his day. That would be a mistake he would regret, as a few hours later, his daughter came to him, asking to look at the person in the woods. But when the dad looked, he saw something strange. You don't over.
tell you what. Okay, and off it goes.
The man decided to brush it off again and head back home.
Long arms. Oh, wow, they did a good job.
Dinner, everything changed when he saw this.
There's somebody in the window looking at me. There totally is. Bar. Okay.
After seeing a strange creature run from the window, he went outside to investigate, but came back empty-handed and decided to call it a night. But what would you do in this situation?
Okay, interesting thing. Okay, great. I'm glad it ended there. Because it's a long arm thing. Creepy, very creepy. I'm not going to say, but I think he was making a horror movie with his kids. It's because the kids do the exact same thing. This little girl is more smiley when she's being pawed by this long-armed creature, which is supposed to be a rake, I guess. But the hair makes me think more of a ring woman, or like a, what are those called? Oh, Francis, if you're listening to this, you know what it's called. It's a Japanese demon. I'm sorry, my mic's been low. It's a Japanese demon. But, it's based on the Ring Girl. Did anyone know that one? Can't remember. Yurei? I'm getting that wrong. I know I am. Are we aliens? Well, okay. Okay. That's not awesome. Artifact. Okay.
We have proof that the Red Sea crossing happened.
Oh, this is interesting, but it's more history than paranormal per se. So I'm gonna skip that one. The man with the funny collar. I think I know this one.
15 years ago, Mum and Dad and a little girl are visiting the palace. Mum and Dad are looking around in the laird's bedroom, and the little girl wanders under the rope into the strong room, and the mum hears her talking to someone. Who are you talking to? And the little girl replied, "The man, Mummy." "What man?" "The man with the funny collar." So the mum looks in, and there's nobody there. And she says, "Don't be silly. Come on, let's go upstairs." So, she continued the story. They came up here. The little girl looks up at the painting of George Bruce, and she says, "That's the man there, Mummy."
Good story.
About fish.
Ooh, that's a good one. We're gonna let him tell it again in the background here. I think that's one of my favorite ghost stories ever, and I told it on the show. One of my favorite ghost stories ever. I've told it on a similar story on this show about Ansel Adams, how he haunts his house right here in my neighborhood in a town called Campbell. You can look it up, the Ansel Adams house. And where's it, Ansel Adams? Oh, criminy. I might have the wrong guy. I'm pretty sure it's Ansel Adams' house. But look it up. And they do tours there, and there's a great story, something very similar happening to one of the docents who worked there. It's good times. So, all right. I love that ghost story. I just had to share it with you guys. Scariest guest to an Airbnb in New Orleans. Okay. That might be a little long, but we'll let her tell it. And this is Tiff, the ghost talker.
Listen to it. We'll call her Kate. Kate was staying in town for a business meeting, so she said she was staying at this cute little Airbnb down around the French Quarter. She was alone. She didn't want to stay in hotels. She said she always kind of got the ick in hotels. She felt like they were more dangerous. So she goes to the Airbnb. She had the code to get in, and the host had left her a handwritten note that said, do whatever, just clean up after yourself. But then it also said, do not open the door after midnight for anyone. She thought that they were just trying to be funny because, of the nightlife that's down there. So she kind of didn't pay any mind to it. The first night, everything was fine. The second night at 12:45, she hears a knock at the door, just 3 little knocks. She said they weren't frantic or like loud or anything. They were just like polite, soft knocks. So she goes through the door, she looks through the peephole, and she sees this gorgeous guy standing there. She said he was like so good looking. He was pale skin, he had dark hair, the most gorgeous eyes.
I'm sensing vampire. You know what? I'm gonna have to stop this because I didn't get Tiff Ghosts Talk permission to air this one, but I will continue the story. So she's enamored of this guy. Opens the door and there's no one there, if I remember correctly. And this kind of goes on, and then the second time, the same thing happens. Same night, same time, and this time the dude is there, and he says something along the lines of, "May I come in? I saw you from afar." Just flirts with her basically, and says, "Can I come in?" And she remembers the guy's voice. "No, I'm sorry. No, I can't have you come in, but we can go somewhere else." That's okay. And I think he actually yells at her, turns into something monstrous, and rushes away or something like that. You know what? Look that one up for yourself. It works with werewolves. Oh, that was a weird story, but I'm not going to tell it here. Near Mount St. Oh, this might be the Bigfoot one. This is kind of cool.
In 1924, deep within the rugged terrain of
No, it
Washington
isn't.
State, a group of miners embarked on a fateful expedition near Mount St. Helens. Venturing deep into the wilderness in search of precious metals, the miners had built a cabin on the side of a hill. One day, on the way back from prospecting, they encountered what they described as a group of gorilla men. Scared, the men...
Oh, I hit the wrong button. Darn it. I'm so sorry,
In
guys.
1924,
We're going to have to listen to
rugged
that part
terrain of
again.
Washington State, a group of miners embarked on a fateful expedition near Mount St. Helens. Venturing deep into the wilderness in search of precious metals, the miners had built a cabin on the side of a hill. One day, on the way back from prospecting,
That's
they encountered
industrious.
what they described as a group of gorilla men. Scared, the men started shooting, hitting one several times, and they saw it fall from the cliff it was on. This was a mistake. The 4 men retreated to their cabin in fear as the remaining Bigfoot, enraged at their actions, attacked. The men huddled inside their tiny cabin as Bigfoot pelted it with rocks and beat on the walls. At one point, they tore open a hole in the roof and started throwing rocks in, knocking one man unconscious.
So weird.
The attack didn't cease until daybreak when the creatures retreated. The Battle of Ape Canyon,
Yeah.
as it has been come to be called, is one of the most enigmatic and violent Bigfoot encounters in the history of the Pacific Northwest.
Okay. Bigfoot hoodies. That's also from Bigfoot Loyal. I follow them. So credit to them. Yeah, the Ape Canyon thing is a legit story as far as, in the lore of Bigfoot, it's out there. And I think it even gets more involved. But one of the things that strikes me, get my mic out of it. I put my mic back so you can actually hear me. One of the things that strikes me I'm sorry, I'm trying not to blow out everyone's ears. One of the things that strikes me as interesting about the Ape Canyon story is that they never forced their way inside the cabin. if they're strong enough, and they, Bigfoot reportedly are strong enough to tear a roof off of a cabin, especially if it's one of those temporary built things. I put 2 screws in the in the main joist, and that's it. That's a weird reference, but you're talking about creatures that can do that level of damage, and all they do is throw rocks at you from outside, when they can walk in, and they've done it before. They tore trees down. It's been witnessed. It's been videotaped. I mean, having that level of strength, and all your best bet, your best attack is, oh yeah, you can't hide in here. Tear a corner off a roof. Start winging rocks at you. Okay. I don't know why they wouldn't go inside. Is it too confined for them? Maybe. Can they tell that from looking outside? I don't know. Maybe. But at the same time, I have to think, like, okay, if you're going to kill one of my guys by aiming a stick that makes a loud noise at it, and then we see the holes show up in them, without having knowledge of what a rifle really is, that I'm working on a few assumptions here, but your attack methodology is to scare them and to throw rocks at them. Knocking one guy unconscious, okay, fair enough. Sizable rock, I guess. Beg pardon. Talking yawn. I can't talk. But it still doesn't. It troubles me. The story troubles me because I'm seeing a lack of logical approach for a Bigfoot attack. I mean, if I'm that big and powerful, am I being cautious because they pelted my buddy with invisible things from a distance? Maybe. That could explain it, but at the same time, if I'm getting that close and no one's firing their guns at me, you think the risk would be there. Instead to peel a corner off the roof and start lobbing rocks in. I don't know. Ape Canyon is a great story, but I think it might be perhaps just that. Just a great story. UFO Hornet's Nest. I don't know what this is. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do this one. I had a few more on here. No. Oh, that's why is that here? I don't know why that's here. Roof of the Carton. No. Okay. Okay. A deathbed confession of a CIA agent will describe for you what aliens look like. At least that's what he purports to.
150, 300 pounds.
Could they tell what the source of power was of this craft?
Yeah, it was like a
Sorry, I had the wrong.
reverse gravitational thing. In fact, one.
I'm so sorry, guys. I hit the wrong button on my end, and I kind of hosed it. Oh, yes, I hosed the whole thing. Okay, let's do that. Okay, try it again. My mistake, everyone.
150, 300 pounds.
Could they tell what the source of power was of this craft?
Yeah, it was like a reverse gravitational thing. In fact, one later on, I got the mathematical code for reversing gravity in a 3x5 card. I guess there are different types of grays and so on.
How did you see that evidence?
Well, at the later on, at S4, we viewed the autopsy film.
Site 4.
Colonel said, what we've got in here is we're interviewing a gray alien.
All right, right there. How did you feel at that moment?
Well, I thought, boy, we had no idea we were going to see the real thing. All we saw was film.
You had to have a little bit of heart racing
Yes.
at that moment.
My boss was able to go in and have like a partial interview.
So what did this gray alien look like? Could you describe him a little bit?
This one looked a little bit oriental.
So I'm just wondering
Asian,
if,
if you
if
prefer.
it looked almost human, what about this didn't look human?
No, it didn't look human as far as the skin tone and basically the shape of it and the size.
How was its head size compared with a normal human, for example?
Brain was kind of a little bit bigger. Some of the nose was very, very small. And the ears were just like holes. Mouth was very small.
Now, why were they bringing you out here at all, anyway, to see an alien? What was the point?
To go back and tell the president they actually had one.
So he did not know at this point
No.
if there was an alien at S4.
15.
Okay, that's the end of the interview. But that's fascinating because this gentleman actually describes to a degree what, come on. What, the blue man, the blue creature, also had no ears. Driving and listening. You guys are great. I'm so impressed by you. Driving and listening at the exact same time. And texting. Don't do that. That's dangerous, potentially. But yeah, his confession and his description, this was Richard Dolan interviewing this guy. And I'm trying to find, there was another one that cropped up, which is interesting. Oh, yes. We'll do this one. This is kind of fun. We'll do that in a sec. But there was another creature described on by drawing a blank on his name. Let's see. I'm doing a quick search here on the blue-skinned alien. Okay, so it's Joe Sands is the guy who described the blue alien, which was so Joe Sands blue alien. There we go. I wish there was a picture of the Joe Sands blue alien. Oh, it kind of is there. But just the guy, just the dude. Where's the picture of the dude? You know. Okay, Okay, I'm trying not to waste everyone's time here, and I'm kind of doing that anyway. Anyway, so there's this blue alien, and you saw me do the lookup, so I'll just zoom in over here real quick. Where I can do that. So that's not him. But see this guy right here? That reminds me of him. Eyes are bigger than us, bigger head, ears are part of the thing, smaller mouth. Although this particular nose, according to Joe over here, was not as pronounced as I remember if I remember correctly. It was a little more button nose-ish, but kind of well into the skull. And the mouth was smaller, I think. But he says this is relatively accurate. Okay, going back to the other stuff. there was a so yeah, that description, they called him a gray alien. He called him gray too, which is interesting. So maybe there's different breeds and such. Interesting stuff. Okay, let's move on to more alien stuff, which is kind of cool. Kind of scary, but cool nonetheless. Here we go. So a horse was someone was riding their horse and they saw something. That's an unhappy horse right there. I'll kill the sound just so we can look more than anything. Yeah, I'm zoomed in. Oh gosh, the shaky on this is. Oh, I saw him. Hopefully you saw him too. He was right behind that tree. So enlarge and slow down, and I'll pause it. Hopefully, he's gonna poke his little head out. There he is. See him right there? That's pretty crazy. So and then he's poking out a little more. There he is. And the horse is gonna freak out and zip, he's gonna duck back. That's interesting. Very interesting. I think I saw the tips of his longer fingers there too. So that's intriguing. Could one have faked this? Yeah, totally. Although I don't, you could do a rig behind the tree there, and because the person zooms in on a very specific location before the alien pops out. So I'm suspicious, to say the least. But yeah, so we'll watch it again in real time. And if you gotta look right here. I think he zooms in on it. Yeah, there he is. And then he pokes out again. Oh, there he is. So I don't know. That was either super serendipitous or it was super planned. I couldn't tell you one way or another. Do I believe it's real? In the sense that it was, there. I'll play it. I'll keep it playing here in the background. But yeah, they definitely showed something. But is it real? I gotta see how the fingers behave again too. It also almost looks like it was a bust on a rig because it looks like it was kind of stiff the way it moved. It didn't turn its head and peek out. It kind of, watch this. So see, so my guess is this was a prank or a film, student film. Well done too. I mean, not bad, but it looks like a alien. See, I think I saw the tail end of a camera rig there. This thing, not a camera rig, but a rig. This thing was definitely on a thing. So yeah, no, it's fake. It's a film. Good times. But it's still an interesting thing. So I'd say most of what I've shown you guys has been relatively falsified. Relatively. There's one or two things I'm leaning a little more toward believing, but this is the world of the paranormal that we live in as investigators, I should say. So we're dealing with a lot of misidentification, usually in cases, which is amazing. But I do want to share one other thing with you. This is the 1962 case where all the children drew the exact same thing. I think this is the same case where like 37 children. That school, I beg your pardon, that school of kids in Africa were all visited by the same, including the teachers, were all visited by the exact same, and they all describe the same thing. They're visited by aliens. So let's take a quick little look at that. Okay, lots of music. Oh, okay, it's just that. Oh, that's. I thought this was way longer for some reason. Maybe there's a corruption. But do not erase his name. Yet there is no name there. So all these guys explain the exact same thing. Okay, that could have been stronger example. Sorry about that. Um. Okay, this is kind of cool. This is a child ghost caught on camera. We're gonna watch it. I think it's back here. Let me zoom in a little bit. Oh yeah, there he is. Yep. Runs in and closes the door. Oh, man, that's not cool. Oh, I want to see it again because it just sits there in the corner, and then it decides to. You notice its head really kind of goes everywhere though. Um. So. And it's behaving like a kid at first. It's just sitting there, kind of half visible, leaning. Runs in, grabs the door, and then its hair just kind of envelops its face. It's kind of bizarre. As far as ghost imagery goes, it's not bad. I mean, we've seen weirder on the internet and more clear. I'll have to add, but I mean, the way this thing, it's the head disappearing in a weird black fog that kind of gives me pause. So we'll call that one 50-50. I mean, this girl's definitely scared. Whether she was being pranked or not, I couldn't tell you. I think, let me see here. What else we got? Oh, yes. Yeah, this is messed up. I like this one a lot. It's a good one. So let's share this one. So, oh, I'm sorry, guys. It didn't show up. let me start over. Okay, so let me close it and come back to it. So this little kid's toy just starts rolling around on its own. Now, we've all seen this video to one degree or another. I don't know why this little kid is up at 3 a.m., but apparently someone else shows up. And watch this. Ah, that's not cool. That's not cool. So these are a bunch of little kids with odd experiences. And get me a snack or something. Yeah. Nope. He's done. And then there's this one.
A ghost? Yeah, a ghostie. But weren't you just trying to find Reagan? Yeah. Where do you think she is? Reagan is the ghostie. Reagan is the ghost? Yeah, Reagan is the ghostie. Well, what's the ghost's face look like?
Look at that.
What are we doing? What does that mean? I hear that ghost. You hear that ghost? Yeah. And then they got that ghost. Okay.
Okay.
I'll be right there, Reagan. Braylon?
It's interesting stuff. So, it's interesting to see these kids interacting with ghosts. And they don't always get it. But, I mean, that one little girl had the friend behind her and then disappears. We've seen that happen a few times before, too. And it's not cool. Let's take a look at this one. This is a cemetery at night. And you're going to hear knocking. And sounds.
Oh, how the hell they keep opening this? Hello?
Hear that? This is him on his little mausoleum at night. This guy's gonna swear a little bit, so. Let me mute. Maybe not mute. I'll hopefully this doesn't. Let me keep it muted on my end, and then I'll play it again. Okay, so it wasn't that bad. I'm gonna close it and we're gonna start over. Okay, here we go. We're gonna start over. This one's insane. Heidi's gonna leave us. That's okay. Thanks for being with us, Heidi. Love having you here with us. Oh my gosh, I just realized what time it is. It's time for me to end the show. Well, on that fantastic note, me completely overshooting my time, I want to thank all of you for watching and listening with us. My name is Tim Sedano. This is Paranormal Insight, and this has been Trolling the Internet, which magically sucked up all of our time. It's amazing. Okay, until next week. If you have a paranormal experience that you would like to discuss on the show, please email us at paranormal.insight.podcast@gmail.com. That's paranormal.insight.podcast@gmail.com.